My name is Harry Colbert, and this is my Unit 7 response. Steelcase Live, an interactions device for remote workers. Remote working works. It means different things for different generations. This is Jason, who's a millennial. He's a remote worker too, and was able to buy a home by living in a more economical area. This is Paul, who's Gen X. He's also a hybrid worker, and is able to perform better in the role of a caregiver to his children. Finally, we have Charlotte, who's Gen Z. She's also a recent graduate, and because of remote working, doesn't have to relocate for work and has a wider pool of potential employers. While remote working provides unbeatable flexibility for each generation, the subtle interactions that give a workplace its personality are lost. As a result of that, current collaboration tools are designed for sharing content, not collaborating or contributing to it. A quick question once fired across the office hides behind an email, and what was once a quick chat has to be scheduled in. As a result of that, loneliness is a rising threat. In fact, 81% of remote workers fear loneliness from long-term working.
It's nice just having someone there, even if I have my headphones on.
This is Steelcase Live, and it does three things. First of all, it facilitates natural interaction. Here's a guy asking a quick question. Secondly, it creates a sense of community. Here's a group of guys talking about last night's match. And finally, it recreates the ambience of the workplace. Here's a worker listening to the background noise of his colleagues. Turning the left dial changes the channel that the remote worker wishes to be in. This is essentially the virtual space, or the virtual room. Turning it again moves you to a different room. Turning the right dial changes your presence within the room. This is essentially a combination of how well you can hear your colleagues and how well your colleagues can hear you. All of this information is showed on the display along the top of the device. Each remote worker is given an icon which has their initials on and a colour that they can choose. As we were saying, turning the left dial changes the room. On the display, on the device on the left, you can see this is a fairly empty room. On the right, this is a much busier room. Turning the right dial controls the user's presence within the virtual space. As we were saying, this is a combination between how well the user can hear his colleagues and how well the colleagues can hear the user. This can be visualized by positions within an office space. When the device is first turned on, the user is in the back of the room. This is shown on the product on the left. Essentially, the user can hear the colleagues, but the colleagues can't hear the user. Turning the dial means that the user moves to the middle of the room. Essentially, the user can hear the colleagues and the colleagues can hear the user. This is good for relaxed conversations or discussions around work. Finally, moving the dial even further moves the user to the front of the room. This is ultimately where the colleagues can hear the user, but the user can't see the colleagues. This is really good for conversation starters or announcements. The design of the device was actually designed to look like a colleague sat somewhere with the headphones on. Present, but not intrusive. Just there. Initial development started off pretty conceptual. There was 3 initial concepts, and then it developed and developed until we finally got a refined product. There's no one colour for the product either, and the reason being is that office furniture is responsible for 20% of all landfill. So we're repurposing some of those wasted fabrics, a little bit like Freitag do, but we're adding a touch of personality to the home office, because it's your home, after all. Other materials include aluminium, which is unlimitedly recyclable, ABS, which is durable so it makes the product last for longer, and finally that fabric that we mentioned earlier. So this is Steelcase Live. Let's get talking. Thank you.